go. What's going on, everyone? ODC here. Back with another live video, live review, whatever you'd like to call it. I'm going to try and back off some of my lighting because it is washing a lot of stuff out here. I wanted to actually shoot this as not a live review just because I have having the focusing issues, but you know, we'll deal. We'll deal. We'll be all right. Kind of spread everybody out a little bit more so everybody's getting in the shot here. There we go. I'll just do this. It's just a bit too much lighting, if you feel me. I'll wait for some people to kind of trickle in, and then we'll get going, as we always do. Try and clear off a space here, too. You guys are probably wondering why I'm doing a Marvel Legends review. Brent Richards, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, so this is this should be fun. This is a wave I was actually really looking forward to, more so than the other wave. So I want to say this is one of the very few full waves I've got. I'm trying to think what the last wave of Marvel Legends I got. Like full wave? It might have been over a year ago. I'm not counting the box set that I got last year as really a wave. That's not a wave of figures. Maybe it was the Strong Guy Build-A-Figure wave. I think that was it. I think that might have been it. And that was a pretty solid wave, I'll be honest with you. Had some key players in it. I think that might have been the last wave that I got from Marvel Legends, like a full wave. Excuse me, I can't talk today. I do have both other sets of the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four does kind of hold a soft, or I shouldn't say a soft spot. I have a soft spot for the Fantastic Four. It was one of the first comics I ever remember reading was Fantastic Four. I still have the first issue that I have. So, but that aside, I'm sure you guys don't really care too much about that. You want to talk about the figures. That's why we're here. But I will say this, just one last little piece is that, I went out of my way to try and find these. I actually found these randomly on my lunch break. I was lucky enough to just waltz into a Walmart. I didn't see anything, and I never find anything in a Walmart. And these were just sitting ever so neatly on the very top shelf behind a box. All of them, the whole wave. So, and the only guy that would scan was actually Psychoman. He was the only one that would scan in as far as being able to be sold. I don't know if these maybe were supposed to be held for a later date, but I ended up just what was it, checking him out, was it 5 times, and here we are, or 6 times, excuse me, and then here we are. They also rang up as $17.88, not $22.99. So I saved a little bit of money there. I guess I got away with one there, but I don't know. Like I said, there are 2 other full waves of the Fantastic Four that you have to choose from. You could choose from this one with the white and blue, the black and blue, or the more modern all black and a little bit of blue, which I'll do all comparisons across the board with the Fantastic Four. We've got 2 other characters here. And I do want to bring in the packaging just to kind of show that off, which I don't know why I didn't bring the packaging upstairs, but I might have to go grab that. I think this is a pretty good looking set for a Marvel Legends wave. Um, Essentially, what we're getting here is what we've already got with the Fantastic Four crew. There's a little bit of differences here and there. Obviously, we've got the lab coat here, removable arms, exchangeable arms, or interchangeable arms, excuse me, interchangeable hands with the thing, and a head. I still think that this body mold for Thing is one of my favorite Marvel Legends body molds ever. It just, for a bigger character, it just works. It's one of the best sculpted Marvel Legends, I want to say. And for it not being a build a figure, which I feel like in most circumstances he would have been a build a figure, but I'm glad that he's not, because you don't have any joints on him that pop apart or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about stuff like that happening. So that's the cool thing about this, is that he is just a regular figure. Do you think they will redo Mole Man? I absolutely, positively could guarantee that they're going to do Mole Man. I would probably put like money on it, like big money on it. Marvel Legends is pretty much going to do everything. At this point, at this stage of the game, like they're just going to keep doing characters after characters. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do Mole Man. I actually wouldn't have minded if they did Mole Man as a smaller build a figure for this wave. I think it would have made sense to do that, especially at a $22 or $23 price point for these figures, which are the regular price now for Marvel Legends, which I think is, that a little bit out of their price range. Right? 20 made sense with a build a figure, but now when we just have retro packaging and no build a figure and just some accessories, others just come with maybe just hands. What essentially are you paying $23 for? You're still getting the same quality. You're just paying more because of inflation, quote inflation. Um, so or tariffs or whatever excuse they want to use to jack up the price. Tim, how's it going, buddy? Tim says, "Hey ODC, I have this wave. I think it's amazing. I can't find Flame Off Johnny." So Flame Off Johnny is coming later on. He is you have to buy him only through Hasbro Pulse. He's still up, and Phasing Invisible Woman is also, they're both Hasbro Pulse exclusives. So you have to get them from Hasbro Pulse. Unfortunately. So you don't have to have membership to get them, but you do have to get them through Hasbro Pulse to get the powered down Johnny and the powered up Sue Storm. It is the same mold as this Sue Storm. So it's pretty much the exact same figure that you're going to get, just all clear. So sorry, my hand's in the way. Sorry about that. So that's pretty much what you're getting. She is pretty much on the generic female body with a new head that I guess is pretty controversial. People either are on the fence about it or they hate it. I'm gonna kind of give my 2 cents about it. I have a funny thing. I think the way she looks is a certain type of person, but we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, we've got some cool stuff. I'm gonna rifle through the packaging really quick and just kind of give you guys just my thought process on the packaging. And it's not just showing the packaging just for the sake of showing it. Sure, I'll show each little read up really quickly, and then we'll move on from the packaging. And I'll give my 2 cents on that's the excuse that Hasbro's using is, oh well, it costs more for the packaging. Then just don't give us the retro packaging. Like there's no reason why these can't be $20 and you just don't give us retro packaging. We've already released the Fantastic Four twice now without retro packaging. I don't really give a shit about packaging at the end of the day, personally. Even when I was a kid, don't care then, don't care now, unless it's like maybe some sort of exclusive, like a very rare exclusive or something like that, and it's got funky packaging or something. But even still, I still don't care about packaging. So, but anyway, um, I'm gonna go grab that packaging really quick. I'm gonna stop saying the word packaging so many times in a row, and I'll be right back in about 1 minute. Count me down. 1 minute. Okay, I'm back before a minute. Maybe it's more like 30 seconds, if that. Okay, so the packaging here. Let me just get them out of the way really quick. Move all them out the way. Go over there, Johnny. Johnny number 5. Okay, got that. Get him, move her, move him, and move him. Move her over there. Move him over here. All right, so I'll just start off with the packaging. I mean, I'll be honest. I like the retro card packaging. It does look good. This is pretty much very similar to what we were used to seeing when we were younger. It's just, you're trying to sell you on nostalgia. That's all they're trying to do. And I'm sorry for banging this back and forth. I'm just trying to fix my tripod here. Packaging looks good. Says Mr. Fantastic. It gives you the feels, the kid feels. Gives you the animated look right here, and this is pretty much what we were used to. Flipping around to the back, this is pretty much what it looks like. It's got the whole wave right here. I still just wish they made just packaging like this normally, but I guess it does cost more money to do it, blah, 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 all that nonsense. You can pause this and read it if you want to. Let me just bring my tripod up as close as I can. You can, if you're watching this on playback, because this is live when I'm shooting it, then you can pause it and read it if you want to, but I'll hold it up here for a second for those of you that are watching this live. So if you want to read that really quick, you can. Okay, so that's Mr. Fantastic. And like I said, the rest of the figures are right here in the wave. You got High Evolutionary, Psychoman, Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Thing, and Mr. Fantastic. So, I mean, it does look good. The card artwork does look good, whoever did it. Or if they just pretty much copied off the old stuff. Here's Invisible Woman. Here's the back. If you want to read that, by all means you can. Same instructions apply. If you're watching this on playback, go ahead and pause and read if you want to, or fast forward if you have read it. Try not to shake it while I'm holding it. Let me get my other hand over here so I'm not jiggling this all over the place. Okay, so not too crazy of a read up there. It is in multiple languages, so there's the wave again, all that fun stuff. Here's Human Torch, Torture, Mr. Johnny. There you go. Okay, and the wave and all that fun stuff. Here's some artwork of him. Here's the front. Looks good. Like I said, it's well done, and it is actually thick 2-ply packaging. So there's that. This is all going to get recycled. So, I mean, at least I'm doing my part to recycle it, but Marvel's Thing. And like I said, you could see 90s animation right here. And up there, like I said, again. And here is Thing's read up. Okie doke. I think it's pretty much just a sentence on that. All that fun stuff. And we'll get to the two villains here. Hi, Evolutionary. There's the read up. I know this is coming in a little bit fuzzy. I'm hoping that the quality gets better on playback than what I'm seeing here. It's a little bit overly fuzzy here. There you go with that. And Psychoman. He's a psycho and he's a man. Therefore, Psychoman. And there's his read up. And if you do hear like a dead silence, pretty much that's just me blowing my nose because I'm dealing with nothing but allergies for the last like month and a half. It's been brutal. Been absolutely brutal since I've moved down south. It's like twice a year, horrible allergies, nonstop. So I do apologize, but at least I can mute. So, you know what? Who we'll start off with? We'll start off with probably the least favorite of the group, and that's unfortunately Sue. Poor Sue. You know, I feel like she keeps getting the shaft, and not in that way, but I feel like she keeps getting the shaft as far as action figures go. I want to say the Walgreens is probably the best. The Walgreens exclusive version of her is probably the best looking one. And I have to blow my nose. I'm going to mute the microphone. Don't worry, I sanitized. Okay, so poor Sue. She's always, I feel like most of the female figures are usually getting the shaft as far as, you know, just being well done. You know, I feel like at this stage, Marvel Legends has kind of hit a wall when it comes to female figures, and they haven't been able to evolve them in any way. We still don't have double jointed elbows for them. Some of these bodies that we're using are going on 10 plus years old. It's just, I don't know, time for a change at this point. Almost 10 years old, I should say. Almost 10 years old. It's been, the point I'm trying to make is it's been a while, you know? And I would think, like, if you can do a body like this, then you should be able to do a new female body. If you can replace the Bucky Cat body mold, then you should be able to replace this body mold. This is like the kind of like the teen body, whatever you want to call it. It's not the most womanly, and I understand Sue is a little bit more of like, I don't know. I always kind of pictured Sue Storm as like a Stacy Keibler. If you know who Stacy Keibler is, if you don't, Google her. You have Google at your disposal. That's kind of how I always pictured Sue Storm. Stacy Keibler in my head all day. Legs for days, blonde, beautiful, intelligent, awesome girl. Girl you want to sit down and have a beer with, you know? That's the type I think of with Sue Storm. Now, I want to say that this is not the worst head sculpt I've ever seen out of a Marvel Legend. Some people doing reviews out there are saying that this is like the worst. Oh my God, this is the worst head sculpt I've ever seen, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, did you guys not see some of the old Marvel Legends that we've gotten previously? Because some of them are, oh my Lord, horrible. So, I think what's throwing most people off, it's not just the paint on the face, it's the puffy hair. I think the puffy hair is making her face look so little and squinched that people are like, it's awful. And we can't take it. I really gotta back my lighting off. This is a bit much here. It's like killing the whole vibe here. I'm going to try and get this upward. And I think it's because the back is really trying to focus on the background. Anyway, but I mean, she's got some Southern girl, like Jesus freak haircut. Like the taller the hair, the closer to God. That type of haircut. You know what I'm talking about? That like Southern belle religious hair, puffy hair thing going on. That's what it looks like, and I think it's supposed to be like windswept or like volumized hair. That's what they were going for, or something like that. But it just didn't work, and it makes her head look teeny, her face look teeny. Excuse me, and it makes her hair so puffy. She looks like some sort of like news anchor or something like that. Like she belongs on like CNN or Fox News or something. I don't know, one of those. um, but I could see maybe like a Charlize Theron out of her too. Maybe a Sue Storm. That'd be a good pick for Sue Storm too, or Emily Blunt. That's I think the popular vote right now. Anyway, the figure itself, like I said, is on the older body mold. Um, the head can move back and forth as far as articulation does go. She can't really look up due to the sculpt of the hair, but she can look down a little bit. Let me try and get her to look down. Hopefully I don't snap or break anything. If she can look down, it just looks weird just because of the head, the bulk of the head, if you know what I mean. And she does have this odd peg hole right there, which I don't think I've seen out of a female body before. This other peg hole. I don't know what that's for. I don't know what it's about. Maybe it's off of like a symbiote body for like Shriek or something like that. I don't know. But it is there. It's a thing. I don't know what exactly it's for, but maybe you can store an extra hand in there. Let's try that. Let's just shove a fist in there. There. That looks great, right? Now she can store her fists. Fantastic. Anyway, see what I did there? But typical teen body. She does have a diaphragm joint which can crunch forward and back. She can swivel. She can pivot side to side. So good range of motion there for the most part. She can do the hula hoops of doom, doom, doom. Her arms can go up, down. They can do a full 360 rotation if you need them to. She does have a single jointed elbow right there, which does not get to 90 degrees. She does have a swivel at the elbow, a swivel at the wrist, a hinge joint, which goes back and forth. Let's see if she's got jive turkeys. No gobbles, no turkeys here today with her. But I'm sure we'll see some turkeys later on in the review. Legs go forward. Legs go back a little bit. The sculpt of that tush does get in the way. We got a upper thigh swivel. She does have double jointed knees as usual. And that's about it as far as that goes. She can point the toe, she can point the heel, and she does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes. But this is the thing, and this has kind of been the issue that I have with this body mold and why it needs to go away and be archived and never come back. In the ankle joint, there's sections where this will ratchet. It'll ratchet right there, and it'll ratchet to there. And sometimes her foot is so straight that you almost have to get her into some sort of like this foot has to go out this way and that foot has to point forward to get her into a proper stance like this. And then she's doing this pose the whole time, all the time, for the most part, because it's almost like they have like little hinge joints in the mold for the ankle instead of just making it a smooth joint, which would make more sense. I don't know. I just personally, I've never liked that hinge joints in the or ratchet, excuse me. I didn't mean to say hinge, ratchet joints within the mold for the ankles. It just doesn't sit at the proper point where you need it to for that ankle. So they could just do away with that. And I think that this body is really hindering the fun factor of the figure. She does have removable hands right here. Here's a fist. You put it in there. If I can do that. Let's get it in there. There we are. Come on. And they are a little bit tight because she's a brand new figure. I just got this wave out of their packaging. I was kind of playing around with them for about an hour, and I was like, you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to do this review. So she does have fist hands, which with the Walgreens exclusive she did not have. I'm pretty sure she just came with the clear hand, and I think this thing right here, this kind of, I guess, which does fit into this hand right here. Actually, just probably fits into the other hand because that's how the other hand was. It's like the magic hand. And it'll slide right into there just like so. And then you can plug it in. And then she's using her, invisible shield. So there it is. It's a nice little sculpt. It gives you the visualization that she's doing something. That's nice and all. I have yet to use the first one with her. So I think I might just stick this in the bin of things that don't get used. And yeah, that would be it. I wish they would get rid of this or at least add something to it, like, I don't know, like some sort of bubble for her. That would be pretty cool. I think like a big shield bubble, something like that. But then again, that would be like a deluxe figure, and there's nothing deluxe about this figure to just give her a big bubble. If you wanted to get funny with it, you could use some Tupperware and just put it over her. I think that would be kind of funny. But that's how it fits over the hand. It's just really covering these three fingers right here. And it just kind of slides right into that little crevice right there, and the thumb kind of holds it in place. So it's just kind of using a little bit of the grooves in there for it. So it is made for that hand specifically. I mean, you could still make it work with this hand, but it's really meant for the right hand. That's pretty much it for Sue. The head sculpt, like I said, it's not the best, but it's obviously not the worst head sculpt I've ever seen. I have seen horribly ugly head sculpts from the Toy Biz days and even the Hasbro days. So it's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. I'm just got to be objective and honest here. She had a little piece of paint on her. I think if the hair were more subdued or a different hairstyle, it would be a lot better. Now, with comparisons, I'll leave her right there for a second. I'm sorry for the fuzzy nature of the video. And we'll bring in the other two Sues, which, like I said, I still think my favorite Sue is... I don't know. I kind of like the other two. The other two are both still solid figures. There's obviously a lot more going on with this Sue. And there's the Walgreens exclusive Sue Storm. I still think, I don't know. This looks like almost like a younger Sue Storm. And if you want to go timeline-wise, I think this was their original look. But this looks like a little bit more like she's more mature. Maybe she's in her mid-30s, Sue Storm. This looks like maybe she's in her 40s, Sue Storm, because she's a little bit more modern. And this looks like younger Sue. So, that's the thing. Like, if you look at pictures from when you're 20, as opposed to when you're in your mid to late 30s, you change. Your body becomes wider, your nose gets bigger, there's certain things about us as human beings that change over time. I get it. It's a new face sculpt, so it's not going to look like these two. These two are very similar to each other. You can see it in the pointy chin. You can see it in other specific aspects the cheekbones, the little smirk that she almost has. So these these definitely pass as the same head sculpt almost, just a or the same person. This looks like either a very young person or a different Sue Storm entirely. So I'm gonna go with this is just her younger look. Oops, sorry about that. Just her younger look, and that's what I'm gonna work with. Personally, out of the three of them, I think I like the most. I think I like the Walgreens exclusive the most. I do like this head sculpt better. So if I were to take a head sculpt and put it on the body, I like this body the best because I like the addition of the kind of transition into the phasing right here into her invisible, I guess, phasing. Over here, it's just, pretty much very basic, modern. It's just black suit. I like the extra new sculpting on her, but personally, this one is very just traditional 90s looking Sue Storm right here. And I like it. I like that we're getting a little bit of an evolution between the Fantastic Four here. And the fact that I only thought we were probably only going to get one set of the Fantastic Four, and now I have three sets here, I couldn't be happier as a Fantastic Four fan. And I love the little bit of evolution. So that's probably what I'm going to go with. I like them all for different reasons, but she's definitely does not hold up next to these two. I'll just be honest there. So that's pretty much it as far as the comparisons go. And I think she's the shortest of the three. These heads are a little bit larger. As you can see, the faces are just sculpted larger. And the hair is a lot more, I guess, acceptable as far as sculpt goes, where she's got, Jesus hair. I should say Jesus hair, religious Southern belle hair. Um, so we'll get them out of the way. And that's pretty much it. They're all pretty much on the same body. There's a little bit of differences in the feet here. Obviously, they're sculpted different, and they have even foot textures on here. I don't even think I ended up doing a review on this wave, which I should probably do one. But I don't know how much there is to say about it. But that's Sue Storm in a nutshell. I don't want to spend too much time on it as I already have. So that's Sue. Next up, we'll go with Mr. We'll go with her brother Johnny here. And not to say that I really dislike any of these figures. There's issues with them, but I still think they're pretty solid. So Johnny here, he is pretty cool. I like the fact that we got two different versions of him with his, flaming body or flame on body. I'm gonna grab Mr. Jonathan here. See if I can not drop shit all over the floor. There we go. Good job. And then I'll grab the modern version of him, which I actually really, really like quite a bit. All right, so really quick, I'll do the comparisons first, just because I have them and I grabbed them really quick. There you go. This is him powered down in his modern look. And I actually really like this head sculpt. It gives off that kind of, I don't know, almost Randy Orton look. He almost looks like Randy Orton a little bit with blonde hair. But I think it looks pretty cool. I really like the fact that we do have a powered down version of him, and then we have two powered up versions of him. So, really, if you wanted to go with this is his modern powered up version, I guess you could do that. I know with the lines here, it's a little bit more traditional, and it could even be used as the Android version of the Human Torch if you wanted to. I know the head sculpts probably would be different, but that's okay. Use your imagination, The head sculpts are the same. The bodies are, I want to say the bodies are different. This is on the Bucky Cat body mold from the Walgreens exclusive. This is on, I want to say I know what body this is on. I just can't think of the name. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Let me know in the comments what his name is. Name of the body mold here. But these two are on the same one. It's not the Spider-Man one, I don't think. It's the Sunfire body mold. That's what it is. Aha, got it. He's got a little bit different sculpting because of his feet and such. So he does have that extra sculpting on his feet right there. You can see the treads or the grippage right there. I think really all we're missing from the Fantastic Four is the Future Foundation look, and I'm ready for that look, especially Things look, because I think pretty sure he's wearing like a like a Bret Hart, like a Bret Hart suit in that one, all white Bret Hart suit, and this is what I mean by a Bret Hart suit. He's kind of got like the singlet up top and the long pants and boots. Um, which I actually didn't mind. I like the Future Foundation looks. But anyway, those are the comparisons with the other two Johnnies. So it's nice to have that variation. He has sculpted flames on his legs, where the new one does not. The head sculpt does look exactly the same, though. It looks a little like they skinnied this head up a little bit more for this one. But it is nice to see the differentiation between the translucent reds. We got some yellows and reds and a little bit of orange too with this one, where this one is mostly just translucent red, like a darker red, like almost like a blood red, mixed with like some orange for the flame effects. I think it's just nice to have that little bit of variety between them. And then we got the powered down version. So nice little thing to use, and you can use the flame effects off of this guy with him. They're interchangeable, pretty much. The difference between, really quick. This actually has a peg that pegs into the back and stays in, where this one is just kind of loosely on there. And there is not, there is a peg hole. Yes, there is a peg hole. No, wait, there is not a peg hole. Yes, no, there is a peg hole. What the hell am I talking about? It's down here. Peg hole's right there. There's no peg on here, so you don't have to worry about that. It just kind of sits on his shoulders, but it's the same sculpt and everything. So everything's pretty much the same, except for obviously the body is different. And the Walgreens Johnny is taller. I think I prefer this body for him, though. It's a little bit more like muscular, slender. And I just like the Sunfire body mold quite a bit. It's one of my favorites. It gets a little better splittage than some of the other Marvel Legends. I mean, it could still do better. But overall, I think I like this one. I would definitely use this one as my, my Android Human Torch. I think that looks good. The arms are sculpted the same as the Walgreens exclusive. So are the hands. The hands are interchangeable, and he does come with interchangeable hands here. Let me see, where's his other hand? Maybe it's still in my pocket. Are you still in my pocket? Yes, you are. They are just translucent, like so. Fist right here. And we have a powered down fist here for him. So if you don't want the flame effect on the hands, you can take those off. I think it would have been cool if he would have included the throwing kind of fireballs that he came with initially as a toy. The original toy from, I think that wave did have 2 fireballs. Also, it had it in the Marvel Superheroes line. So that's just something. And I actually did do a review of the Marvel Superheroes quite a while ago, I think a couple of years ago. As far as Johnny's articulation, though, I'm just going to take that flame effect off just to kind of show you. The head can look all the way up, so you can get him into really good flight poses if you want to. The head can look down, just like so. It can tilt side to side. And let's see if we got jive turkeys. Oh yeah, we got some. Oh my God, we got Turkey Land McGillicuddy. So there's your turkeys right there. Arms can go up, down, full 360 rotation on the arm if you need it to. You do have a butterfly joint right there on both sides. Good range of motion there. I don't have any freezing or frozen joints. He does have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow. You can get a little bit more than 90 degrees there. He does have a swivel at the wrist, a hinge joint, which goes back and forth on both sides. He does have an ab crunch, which can crunch back about that far, so not necessarily the best. Does crunch forward, and a ratchet too. Waist swivel. He does have T-jointed hips, which can go out about that far. Legs can go forward, back, upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knee, which is a really good double joint. And then we do have a boot swivel. Points to toe, pointy heely, and ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes. Really good range of motion with him, I think, for the most part. It's not the best range of motion. It's not going to be like, the retro Spider-Man or anything like that, but it's still really good, I think, as far as that Sunfire body mold. He also comes with 2 flame effects. Or actually, I should say 3, because he comes with the one on his back. And then don't fall. He also comes with these 2 kind of swirling flame effects, which can go right over the wrist, like so, if you need it to. So if you wanted to get him into some like cool flaming poses or something like that. You could also wrap him around his legs if you wanted to. That's a thing, if you want to make it a thing, I guess. There we go. That's what we want right here. You could have him like holding the flame, or it's like coming from his like palm or something like that. You could do that, whatever you want to do. It's your toy. Come up with stuff to use it, Or you can get him into like a flight pose or something like that, or I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just dicking around here. I'm also not the world's greatest poser in the entire world, but let's just see what we can do here with Senor Johnny. Johnny number 5. I can't stop thinking about that now. Stuck on short circuit. Stuck on stupid with short circuit, But there you go. You can get him into a nice pose. He'll hold it. It's your typical Marvel Legend. What am I doing? I don't even know why I'm explaining this. But those are the flame effects, which we've seen before. Let me get that off and that off. And if you do want to fit the newer hands on, just pull this off just like so. And I'm going to have to really... There we go. For some reason, I don't know why. The angle that I'm at right now just is not helpful with trying to take these hands off. And here's the other hand right here. And we could even go for like some sort of crazy Adonis pose. Like he's posing for the ladies. You know how Johnny likes to show off. It's like, hey ladies, look at me. Like my muscles? Yeah, more where that came from, Come here often. All that fun stuff that Johnny likes to do, all that douchey stuff. The other cool thing about this is the head sculpt, which does look really nice. Let me see if I can get this situated properly for myself. The head sculpt looks really nice. I want to say it's probably the better as far as just the color of the translucent red. I really like it. It's probably my camera's not doing it justice right now. He does have gold painted eyes, which is really just well done. I think it just helps the figure pop a little bit more. And if you guys can see that gold painted, it looks really good. I'm a little bit impressed with that. I think the lines kind of give off that kind of classic feel to him. He looks a little bit retro. And like I said, maybe this is the team that's, a little bit younger at this stage of their career. So we'll go with the white and blue suits being a little bit younger. Obviously, Reed's not going to look younger just because he's always got that gray on the sides. He's Mr. Silver Fox over there. But for the most part, I like the choice for the accessories, the choice for the hands. I'm probably going to have the flaming hands on just because I love the sculpt of them. They look good. And I'll probably have these flame effects on them too. Try to flame them up as much as possible. It would have been cool if he came with some sort of like flame effect or something like that. Kind of like an SH Figuarts or Tamashii Nations, excuse me. Like a flame effect or something like that. That would have been really cool if they could have done that instead of just giving him extra hands that we've already got. And, I mean, he's already got one fist hand. Do we need two more fist hands at this stage? And I would like to assume that probably most people are going to want to pose him with the sculpted flame hands, Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. People like different things. I get it. But I don't know. I think this just looks a lot better. Personally, I just think if you've got the sculpt available and you can still get the range of motion and all of that, why wouldn't you want to have that at your disposal, Damn, I just want like a fireball in his hand, damn it. I want him to like hold it. So badly. Damn it. But that's pretty much Johnny right there. Let's get him out of the way here. And then we will move on to Mr. Reed Richards, because there's actually a couple things I have to say. And I'm just kind of trying to get... Actually, you know what? I won't do Reed. I'll do... Actually, no. I promised Reed. That's what you're going to get. There's Reed. Reed doesn't come with too much. He comes with extra arms. And we've seen these extendable fingers, which are very creepy. Ooh, I'm going to get you. We've seen these extendable hands with the more modern Reed Richards, which we'll get to in a second. I don't know how much I'm going to use these hands unless I'm doing like a specific type of maybe like a photo shot or like a specific kind of, I don't know. Excuse me. I'm at a loss for words here. All of a sudden. I don't know why. I'm dehydrated maybe. Unless I'm doing some sort of specific display or something like that, I'm probably going to just use his vanilla hands, which I think makes more sense. Maybe I like the lab coat. The lab coat I think is something nice that they should have done with probably the first wave. But it's nice that they're also, removable arms. So you can take the arm off. You can take both arms off, excuse me. Because the original Reed had the bendy wire arms, which I think were much more superior to these arms. But regardless of that, we're getting a little bit more variety with each Reed. I want to say each Reed Richards, you're getting a little bit different. These hands and arms came with the other Reed, original Walgreens exclusive Reed, but the hands came with the modern, and then you have the lab coat arms with this one. So each one has something different. So I like that. And you can take these hands off, and you can take the hands off of the lab coat arms, and you can pop those on here, just like so. So that's pretty cool. I like that. You have variety. You have interchangeability. You have some sort of swappability, whatever you want to call it, customization. It's nice to be able to do that with just one figure. So I want to say out of all of them, he probably has the most interchangeability out of anybody. He probably comes with the most stuff, which is cool. I feel like that should kind of be the standard for Fantastic Four figures is that you want to give them the most accessories because of their power sets. Um, with this one, I feel like, especially the retro cards, if you're gonna, pump money into a retro card, then you might as well throw in the bendy wire arms too, and all of that. You should have thrown everything that you possibly could. If maybe down the road we can get some extendable legs, that would be cool, or a torso, that would be nice. Maybe if they do that with a future foundation, I don't know. Who knows what they're gonna do? But these hands, excuse me, can fit into the lab coat arms, so you can still go with that if you want to use the lab coat arm and he's reaching out for like a beaker or something like that. You could do that. So, the world is your oyster. You have options here. You're not stuck with this lab coat the whole time. And I don't mind the plastic. It's a nice, softer, malleable plastic. So it's not gonna, be too hard and you can't articulate the figure. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to articulate it as best as if you were like this, but you can still articulate the figure, which is cool. The head sculpt is the exact same head sculpt as the Walgreens exclusive. It is not the same as the modern regular release, the Super Scrawl Build-A-Figure, which I'll bring in the other two reads just to show you. But, yet again, I'll reiterate. I will reiterate. I like the fact that we get something a little bit different with the modern version. I like that head sculpt. It gives him some variety. There's the Walgreens exclusive. He's holding the ultimate nullifier. But I like the bearded version. I mean, I think it looks good. It's something a little bit different. It looks like him, just a little bit older. And I dig that. I mean, what's wrong with it? I hear a lot of people complain about this wave. And I'm like, what's the problem with that wave? It was actually a really good wave that made sense. Maybe if they would have got a bag-headed Spider-Man, they would have been happier. I don't know. Who knows with that crowd. But I like the bendy wires. I like each one of them for different reasons. I like if he would have got the bendy wires, I would say I like him the best then. But I still have to go with the Walgreens exclusive. I still think that he's, I don't know. When I saw that read, I was like, yes, he's perfect. Bendy wire arms. It just looks the part. You can put stuff in his hand. You can do whatever you want. You can exchange the arms. You can not exchange the arms. You can have him vanilla posed. You can have him, funky posed. Whatever you want to do. This guy's a little bit more subdued. I think I'd probably go him, and then him as far as, functionality and stuff like that. He can still function as a figure, but the feet are a little bit larger on him, and they're a little bit, I don't know, I want to say almost curved a little bit. So he does sometimes to wobble back and forth a little bit. He'll still stand, so it's not really that huge of an issue, but it is something to point out. And he only came with these funky hands right here. And that was pretty much it for him. So he was kind of bare bones. But this guy, I like the lab coat. I like all that funky stuff. Like I said, it sets him apart from the other two releases enough where I think it's worth actually picking up. And if you were to pick up one, and I don't know, I think these guys are starting to go up in price, that whole wave. I think people are starting to see the greatness in that Walgreens exclusive wave, which was really, really good. But I like the lab coat. I think I'm going to keep him in the lab coat with this one. I think it just makes sense. But there's always the option to use the other arms, which is just great. And I really like that. Love this lab coat. I think that was kind of a huge selling point for me. That and getting another Thing figure, which is, just keep selling those, please. I will pick those up. And I don't buy too many Marvel Legends these days, but Thing figures, they look great. I love it. fantastic. We'll get to things soon. But yeah, I really like this figure. I think it looks good. And I'm going to go through articulation with the coat on just so you can see range of motion and such. I don't know why I'm picking that arm up. The head can go back like that. It can go down. He can tilt side to side, just like so. He can do some jive turkeys. And it's almost turkey day. We're getting close, people. We're getting close. Arms can go up. They can go down. Full 360 rotation in the arm if you need it to. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which I think this is the same arm that's used for, yes, it is. There's the cufflinks, or the cuff buttons, whatever you want to call them, as the suited bodies. So it's pretty much just like suited arms that are detachable. He can ratchet forward. He can ratchet backward a little bit. It's a little bit subdued with the coat on. It's pretty much the same body as these two bodies. So nothing too much that's different there. He can swivel at the waist with the coat on. He can do the splits, which is actually, he can do splits better than I think Johnny can. So, or it's at least around the same range of motion. Legs can go forward, back a little bit, just due to the sculpting of the rear end and the coat getting in the way. He does have an upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee, so he can get it up there. And no boot cut, but he can point the toe, he can point the heel, and he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes, as you can see there. Yet again, with him, the ankles kind of bug me, and I don't know what it is, but I don't like the sculpt of these feet. They just look too Spider-Man-y to me. I feel like they should just be regular boot feet. Maybe in some ways, I actually kind of prefer these feet just because they are a new sculpt, a new mold for the feet, and they kind of fit in with that kind of, futuristic tech suit that he would need to use to be stretchy, Where this just looks like he's got Spider-Man feet on, Kind of looks a little bit off. But it's nothing too bad if you can get past that. But there he is. That's pretty much it as far as Mr. Fantastic goes. Mr. Reed Richards. We've seen the long elongated fingers. Good sculpt and all that. Fun times in Ridgemont High and all that fun stuff. And everything just plugs in like so. It's very easy to do. And that's pretty much it for him. Not too much else to say. I'm kind of glad he did not come with an ultimate nullifier. I don't really need any more of those. They're rather easy to lose. I think it would have been cool if he included some sort of measuring lab utensils, or maybe a stethoscope, or something along those lines of lab materials, like a beaker or some sort of, or maybe a microscope. That would have been something cool that he could just hold in his hand. That would be cool. But that's pretty much Reed right there in a nutshell. I want to say he was for me, he was a selling point for the wave. So that's Reed. Moving on. We'll get to Mr. Ben Grimm, and then we'll get to the 2 villains last. All right, so here is Ben, looking very Ben. He does come with fist hands right here, and then he's got his 2 open hands right here and here. So we've seen these before with the Walgreens exclusive. It's the same sculpt of hands from the Walgreens exclusive and the same hands from the, the modern version, which we'll do comparisons of all those. Fist hands also same, different paint deco, same body as the Walgreens exclusive. A little bit different tooling for the modern version, just because the modern version has a little bit more going on. New heads, though. We have new heads here. These are not the same. We kind of got this little bit. He looks kind of like a little, Gerber baby, a little bit right here. I think it looks kind of cute. I don't know. I don't throw the word cute around a lot, but he looks like a little baby. Gaga goo goo. I need my bottle. I change my diaper. All that fun stuff. Uh, and then you switch to this head, and this is baby. I didn't get enough bottle, or I wet my pants, and now I'm upset. So this might be the head that I go with. I like this head too. He just looks. I'm just kidding when I say baby Gerber baby face. But he looks a little bit like looks a little like he's got an underbite, which I think is kind of funny. But this head, let me get it popped on there properly. Oh, wow, you're going to be tough on me, aren't you, jerk? There we go. It is a tight fit with that head, but I think he looks good. Like I said, the paint deco is different on him. It's, I want to say, a little bit. It's more of a paint application on the chest than the modern version, but it's a lot less that we saw with the paint apps for the Walgreens exclusive, which I think is one of the best Marvel Legends ever made, to be honest with you. But this is still a really good figure. I love the white and the blue. It just pulls my eye a little bit more than the black and the blue does. Let me grab both those other bends, and we'll get into some benning. Some benning. It's benning time with Benjamin Grimm. Super Skrull's trying to knock everybody over, so I'm going to have to set him over here, so I acting like an asshole. Nobody likes an asshole, okay? Nobody. Not me. Not now. Not ever. So we've got Walgreens exclusive Ben right here. And then we have good old modern Ben right here. So yet again, we can see an evolution here. Head sculpts are different. We've got a little bit less of a brow right here. We've got more of a brow right here. And then we've got kind of what looks to be more of like a classic look. If you guys remember the Legendary Riders figure, it reminds me a little bit more of that. I have that figure somewhere. You probably put away in storage. But that was one of my favorite Ben Grimm figures for a long time. I know a lot of people get stuck on the Marvel Select one. I think that's a little bit too big for Ben. I think this is the best size that you could possibly get for Ben Grimm as far as Marvel Legends scale and all that. So back to what I was saying really quick with the paint apps. So paint apps are very different between each three. Well, I shouldn't say very different. There's similarities and there's differences. There's paint on the feet for the modern one, where this one has a little bit of paint, but it's very subdued. You could see a lot more paint throughout this body on the chest right here and even the forehead and going onto the back of the head, where this is a lot more subdued. I feel like this is a lot better than this version. But, I mean, how do you compete with this version right here? You can't. He's perfect. He's a perfect damn figure. You can't. Like, each crevice is painted. Like, damn, that must have taken forever to do. It must have been a pain in the ass to do all that. This looks like almost like a custom figure. That's how good it looks. This looks like Hasbro took kind of like a spray paint and went shh, shh, This guy looks like they kind of took that spray paint and held it too close, No, either one that you get, either out of the three, are really good figures. It's still the same body. Little bit of different tooling here for the modern one, like I said, on the lower section with the belt and even the I guess shorts that he's got on. But it's pretty much the same as this guy right here. It's the same kind of sculpt and everything as far as the shorts. It's just different tooling for the belt. This guy has different tooling for the legs. As you can see, these shorts are a lot shorter. It's more of like I want to say a late 80s, early 90s look for Ben Grimm. So And this is supposed to be like the classic look right here. So there's that. As far as interchangeability with the heads, we'll pop this head off, and we'll pop the Gerber babyface on. You can pop that on. It's going to look a little off just because of the sculpting of the paint apps on him, and he's kind of lacking on this head, and you can see that it's glaring right here. So there's that. The head also fits a little bit loose on that peg. I don't know why. It's a little odd. But you can pop this head off as well if you wanted to. I guess they all kind of fit a little bit funky, you know. Funky like a monkey, baby. Yes. And you can put this head on here. Yes, just like that. And you got Gerber baby face right here. He's like, hey, baby, I kind of got a lift. It looks like I got a lift just like Dusty Rose, you know? So we're going to put the Gerber baby face on here. Let's see how it looks. And I think that fits in. Yeah, you could do that there, baby. That's right. We're going to get funky like a monkey, jerky like a turkey. Anyway, but you could still go with this if you wanted to. I still think it fits in. Obviously, that's just not. It just doesn't look look right. This one and the other head just look the part, I think, as far as that's concerned. But if you wanted to pop that head off and pop this head off too, you could do that. And you could pop this one on. And I think that looks good. I think it works. Even though these paint apps are a little bit heavier handed, that's okay. I think you could still make it work if you wanted to. Put the proper heads on there. And I'm going to stick with Gerber, baby, for a little bit. Articulation across the board is exactly the same. Not really anything has changed other than the little bit of tooling for the legs for the shorts. Let's get these two out of here. Actually, you know what? I'll show the back portions too, just so you can see what those look like. We got a little bit of yellow paint apps on the butt. Thanks, Hasbro, for that. Of course they had to happen, right? But there they are. There's the differentiations between the three on the backside. Let's get him out of here and him out of here. All right. And articulation, like I said, very similar. If you have the other thing figure, you're going to know what you're going to get here. The head can go up, down. It can look side to side. It can do a full 360 rotation if you need it to. You shouldn't have to, though. Let's see if he's got some jive turkeys. Oh, yeah, even things got some jive turkeys up in here. Arms go up. Arms go down. Full 360 rotation in the arm if you need it to. He does have a single bend at the elbow, which gets about 90, just a little bit less than 90 degrees, actually. So there it is with that. And he can also swivel. He can hinge at the hand. He can swivel also. He does have an ab crunch, which does crunch forward, which is really good for a larger figure, especially with all this sculpting going on. That's kind of a tough thing, is to get the amount of articulation that you think you're going to get, and the amount of articulation and range of motion that you do get with this guy is actually quite impressive for, like I said, a larger character. He can crunch back a little bit. He can pivot side to side a little bit. He can also swivel. He can swivel at the waist as well. Legs can go forward. Legs can go back a little bit. He does have an upper thigh swivel. He can do the splits better than anybody in the wave, which is fucking hilarious. Double jointed knees right there. He can point the toe. A little bit tough today. But there we go. Pointy toey, pointy heely, 2 peg holes, which nobody ever uses. I don't know why they even bother with peg holes anymore. But he can also has that ankle pivot, which you're going to need for him. But he can stand great. He is just a great figure. I don't know. I'm waiting for Future Foundation. Let's do it. I'm ready for it. Let's go for it. Why not? Future Foundation Spider-Man. let's just do it. Let's do it all. Let's get it all in here. We've already gotten 3 different versions of Fantastic Four now. I'm geared up. I'm ready for it. He's a solid looking figure. He's another really good looking thing figure. If you want to peg in the open hands instead of the fist hands, it's very simple. Just pop them in just like so, and there you go. There's an open hand for you if you want that. So if you want to have him throwing something, or I don't know, grabbing, choking somebody. Listen here. Let's get his angry face on. Like I feel like Ben is always the voice of reason, you know? He's always like getting into fights with the Hulk. He's like, hey, listen here. You're being kind of a tool, all right? Don't make me clobber you, all right? Don't make me bounce you, bro. I will bounce you. Anyway. But it looks pretty cool. I like this guy a lot. He is just a well-sculpted, well-engineered, well-thought-out, well-planned figure, and I could say that until I'm blue in the face. Love this figure so much. So good. All right, and that's, I don't know, that's pretty much Thing right there. Not much else to say, really. All right, moving on to the newer figures. We'll start with High Evolutionary here. He doesn't come with much. He comes with an extra set of hands, and that's pretty much it for High Evolutionary. He is a newerly sculpted, that's not a word, a newer sculpted body. I want to say these arms look very Iron Man-ish, so do the fists, but I think it's a new sculpt. Let me know in the comments below if I'm right or wrong. I don't know. This does look very Kirby-esque. He and Psychoman look very Kirby-esque. But he does come with extra hands, so if you want to get both sets of open gripping hands, you can do that right here. Let's see if this cuff piece comes off. It looks like a separate piece. I just want to see if it's going to come off, and I don't think it is. It's pretty much glued or sculpted on there separately. But you can get both open hands if you want him to have him gesturing like that. Or you can get both fist hands. Let me just pop that off. Try not to shake the table all over the place. There we go with that and that. There we go. A little bit of a tighter fit there for the hands. But yeah, there he is. If you're not familiar with High Evolutionary, he is pretty much like a guy that kept trying to upgrade himself, essentially. That's the shortest, most basic bitch way for me to explain him. I think, what was it? He started merging with his suit, and this is pretty much what started happening here. There's a lot more meat and potatoes to it. You can go ahead and read up on him as much as you want. I don't want to, the review's already at 73 minutes. I'm trying not to, have it go too long here where you guys are starting to lose your engagement. But I want to say the sculpt, like I said, it's very classic looking. Obviously, the design looks very classic looking for him too. It does not feel modern, which I love. Give me the classic looks. All I want is a Marvel version of DC UCs, and I'll be happy. Give me more Kirby's, and I'll be happy. Give me Jim Lee's and Kirby's all day, and I'll be happy, man. But the head sculpt looks really good. Very pleased with how it turned out. It's almost like a candy apple red. It's like pinkish, candy apple reddish. It looks really good, though. I'm very actually pleasantly surprised with this. With the simplistic look for him, he just looks like he's got these like metal arms, metal legs, and this like tunic kind of covered crotch piece. But it looks good, It almost looks like he belongs in DC Universe Classics, Those Kirby designs, man, they really As classic as they look, they hold up. I love him. He's such a talented guy, Jack Kirby. Um, I like the little mohawk design here for the headpiece. Looks really good. The eyes are almost like a lime green, or like a maybe it's playing tricks on me, but it looks lime green to me. Could just be yellow, like a light yellow, but it looks almost like a neon or light green. Um, the torso piece is a newly sculpted piece. I want to say probably the majority of him is newly sculpted. So, like I said, certain aspects of him do look kind of Iron Man-ish, like it's used from an Iron Man body. But I'm pretty sure the other Iron Man bodies are way too bulky for this to be used. And I do have. Let me see if I have a Iron Man laying around. I think I chucked him, not chucked him like threw him, but like put him in a bin for later bin. Um, but yeah, I think the Iron Man body is a lot thicker than this, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. As far as as far as High Evolutionary's articulation, his head can look back about that far. He can look down. Can tilt side to side really well. Nice tilt. Very good range of motion with the head tilt there. I think this is actually on a ball peg instead of a ball hinge, which I was trying to hinge him there, but there's no hinge. It's just a ball peg. Huh. That's very interesting as far as the choice for a ball peg there. Let me just double check that. Yep, it is on a ball peg. All right. So almost has me wondering if this has some sort of Iron Man thing to it. I'm not sure. But let's see if he's got job turkeys. Oh, yeah, we got some gobbles up in here. Arms can go up right there, down, full 360 rotation, and the arm. You can get it, but he'll kind of have to jet the arm out. Upper thigh, almost said upper thigh swivel. Bicep swivel. He does have a double jointed elbow, which is a little bit frozen here. But there you go with the double jointed elbow. He does have a wrist swivel and a wrist hinge, which can go back and forth. And that's pretty much across the board. They're all the same hinge joint. He can tilt. Oh, not really that good of an ab crunch going back at all. Forward is very limited as well. Tilt side to side. He can swivel at that diaphragm joint. I'm trying to see if he has a waist swivel. I don't think it's there. He can do the splits about that far. Legs can go forward. Legs can go back. He's got an upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee right here, and you can obviously get that double joint properly done like that. He does have a boot swivel, pointy toey, pointy heely, ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes. And that is pretty much High Evolutionary right there. I want to say really good sculpt for the head. I really like the sculpt for that. Lots of lines and details going throughout that head sculpt. I am seeing a little bit of I think it's like a defect. And I've seen this in other people's reviews as well. Something to point out continuously. I'm not sure if this is a quality control concern, which it looks like quality control. But there's a line going straight across and kind of jetting up right here, right there. So something to point out. I like all the sculpted studs going throughout his torso right there and going throughout the back and onto the belt piece and the tunic or crotch covering, whatever you want to call it, right there. I like all those little silver studs right there. So decently done, nicely sculpted, newer character. We have not gotten him, in action figure form. As far as a Marvel Legend goes, this is probably going to be his sole release, is what I would assume. But you know what they say about assumptions. They're the mother of all, whats. So at least that's what they say in Under Siege Dark Territory, right? There's a close-up of his head, or his upper torso. Sorry yet again if my lighting is washing him out. It is the kind of shininess of his head as well. But nicely done figure. And it's nice to have another villain in the stable. So pretty cool there. All right. Next up, and last up, I should say, not next up, we have Psychoman. Psychosomatic, attic insane. Um, Here is Psychoman. I think he's definitely a unique um, looking figure. I was expecting him to be a little bit taller, just a little bit taller. Um, this is definitely a Kirby esque design. You can just see it right off the bat, especially if you look up here on his head, which has a Omega symbol on there. Which, I mean, what does this guy look like? He looks like friggin' green and white dark side, for God's sake. Undersized green and white dark side, but dark side nonetheless. I think it's pretty cool that they did this kind of book holding hand, because he does have his emotions controller book, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure what the technical term for his book would be. I don't know if it even says is manipulate emotions. Yes, he manipulates emotions. Doesn't say what the. I'm sure there's the technical term, and I probably read it a long time ago, and I just don't remember it right now. But um, yeah, it has fear, doubt, and hate. So if he was at the Haters Ball Club, he'd probably be the master, and ruler of the world, just like Psycho said. So there's that. The figure itself is a all new sculpt, which is welcomed. We have lots of sculpting going throughout here. It is a very unique Jack Kirby esque design. Lots of tubings coming out of the pants for the legs, going throughout all of this, and these are actually pretty pliable right here. So you might be able to get better range of motion than you think, and we'll go through that in a second. But he also does have a ball peg joint for the head. It is a little bit weird. Like I said, I just feel like he should have been on a little bit of a taller body. Now, I know the character is not necessarily the tallest character, but I just feel like there's like disproportionate things. Like the shoulders are too tight in, the head is so sunken down. And granted, not everybody looks the same. Not everyone's going to look like frigging Captain America or Conan or whatever. Not everybody has the same build, and I get that, and I like the variety. That's fine, but there's just something a little bit off here, just a little bit off, and it's just something I can't, I guess, note on. His accessory right here, like I said, is nicely sculpted, right there. Has some sculpted detail on the sides, on the back as well, on the other side. There's the top, and there is the bottom. You kind of have to rest this. That's why I kind of had his resting right here, and I kind of had him looking down and reading it. I think a pointer finger would have helped quite a bit if he came with an extra set of hands. Maybe have both one hand here and then a pointing hand here, so he could be like pressing it like this, or maybe the hand won't even get to that point, but you could have him like about to press it, like just like so, just like that, like he's pointing at it, he's about to press it. This figure definitely would have benefited from a butterfly joint here. If they could have ticked in a little bit into the sculpting and just given him a butterfly joint, I feel like getting this arm in would help a little bit. But that's how he can hold it. As far as his articulation does go, The head, like I said, is on a ball peg joint, which can look up and down about that far. You're not going to need the best range of motion with him, but I mean, that's pretty limited right there. Can tilt side to side. Let's see if he got jive turkeys. Oh, my God. No gobbles, no turkeys. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Wanted to end on a high note with a lot of gobbles, a lot of gobbledygookers. None of it. Sorry. He can swivel side to side. He can do a full 360 rotation if you need him to. The head can pop off if you want it to. That's what the ball peg looks like right there. And it just slides back in. Arms go up. Really good, nice, smooth motion for that arm going up, down, full 360 rotation. And you can almost feel a little bit of a ratchet going throughout while you turn the arm, which is nice. Bicep swivel right here. And this is, you can see there's a different piece that plugs into the shoulder. So you can kind of see it sculpted over there. Double jointed elbow, which gets the best range of motion that it can with this unique looking body. Arm can go straight like that. He does have a hinge in the hand, which is a little bit frozen on mine, so I'll use this side for an example. He can hinge just like that on both sides. He does have a swivel in both sides as well of his wrists. He's got a ratchet for the waist twist. He can, whoops, there goes the head. He can crunch back. Not really. Not really. Just a little bit past neutral. Like that's neutral. That's about it. And that's about far forward as he's going to get right there. There's the head neutral. So very limited there as well. The, I guess, belt skirt piece, whatever you want to call this, is a little bit pliable. It's not the best, most pliable. So when you get the leg up like so, just like that, you're going to kind of start deforming this piece just like that, or it's going to hike this piece up on his torso. So, I mean, he can get to a kick, a higher kick. He's not going to kick the best just because of that. And it's going to start, like I said, reforming that that piece. But he can do his side kick. So there you go. The leg can go back a little bit. He does have an upper thigh swivel, which is a separate joint underneath this. Try not to hold on to this while you're twisting, or you could possibly snap one of these off. So you just want to kind of hold the leg like that, and it'll twist on its own. But yeah, he can do the splits nicely as well. Upper thigh swivel, like I just showed. He does have a double jointed knee, which actually gets better range of motion than I thought he was going to. I thought with all of this, he was going to be very limited, maybe single jointed knee, but he can get more than 90 degrees, which is really good. So, I mean, there's the leg at neutral, and that's better than 90 degrees right there. He can point the toey, pointy heely, ankle pivot. And that's actually pretty good range of motion with all of this tubing going on here. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with that. So there's the ankle pivot. Mine's sticking for some reason. I don't know why. There, that one's not sticking. Could just be the sculpt getting in the way, but, you know, who knows. But that is pretty much it for Psychoman. I really like the metallic kind of green that's going throughout. It is a little bit marbleized on the chest and throughout some of the other parts of the arms. Right here, you can see a little bit of marbling going through there. I guess it's not the end of the world. Marvel Legends has been doing marbleized metallics and arms and legs for years. I'm not saying that they get a pass for that by any means. They shouldn't be doing that anymore, but it's not, I guess, as bad as it once was, especially with like Ironmonger. He was like all marbled all over the place. He looked like Marbled Man, you know. Not Marlboro Man, but Marbled Man. I definitely think that this guy would have benefited from extra hands. Just getting this is kind of bland, you know. It's a little bit bland. But I guess he's just another figure, another villain for you to fit in with the rest of your villains, as far as especially cosmic villains go. And I actually think this guy was a Inhumanoids, not a Micronauts Inhumanoids, a Micronauts villain initially. So I guess he can fluctuate in size and stuff. So there's a bunch of different stuff going on with him. But overall, aesthetically, I think he looks good. I want to say the majority of this wave, and I'll just bring in the rest of the wave here. I want to say the majority of this wave, I almost picked up the wrong Ben Grimm here, looks really good. I'm pleasantly surprised with a wave that I thought was going to be kind of mediocre. Um, Actually enjoying it and being able to see it. Excuse me, all these figures out of package. I want to say maybe the most bland is obviously Sue. Second most bland is probably Johnny. Um, then I would go probably Reed. Where is Reed? Come here, Reed. And then Ben, because he's got all that great sculpting going on. Then we'll go with, where'd he go? High Evolutionary. And then I want to say Psychoman has one of the coolest new sculpts. So I don't know. As far as sculpts go, and like I said, I would probably say Thing has the best sculpt out of anybody. Then Psychoman, and then High Evolutionary. Probably Reed, then Johnny, and then Sue. So just reverse it, pretty much. I still think I would recommend the Wave overall. If you don't have a Fantastic Four, this could be a good wave for you to pick up. If you don't like the Sue Storm head, I completely understand. It does make they did make her hair look a little bit puffy, and it kind of makes the head looks or the face look small. So I think that's what's really throwing off the figure overall. But I mean, if you can't get a hold of the modern figure and you can't get a hold of the Walgreens one, this is a nice way for you to pick it up. And if you wanted the white and blue suits instead of the black and blue or the blue and black, this is a good option for you. And I think it's a solid wave. I don't think it's worth the $23 price point each figure. That's kind of rough. I paid $17.88. I got lucky. Hopefully you can get as lucky. You get as lucky as me with those prices. That would be great for everybody to get them at $17.88. But definitely go check your Walmarts. They're popping up. I'm not sure if it was one of those cases where I was not supposed to pay for, or these weren't supposed to be released yet, but I've seen other people get them, and I've seen other people post them on the Facebook groups and such. That oh yeah, they're selling them. They're out there. I know the pre-orders for some of these. I know like some websites have these pre-ordered, being released into March of next year. So I'm like, whoa, that's a long wait, and now I have them in hand, so I just canceled all those pre-orders. I don't need them because here I have the set. So this will go on my Fantastic Four shelf and with my Cosmic Heroes, and it's just going to fit in well. Can't wait. Yeah, can't wait to get more of these characters. I mean, there was a whole bunch of other characters, including if they're going to continue this retro packaging released figures. I mean, if they're going to go with what came out in the toy line, they got to do more in humans. There's a whole plethora of other characters. I'm sure a lot of people want Dragon Man. I know that's probably going to be a thing. They'll probably have to do him non as a Build-A-Figure if they're going to do him in the retro wave. So that's a thing to think about. And let me get Ben over here a little bit more. It's kind of bugging me. He's getting blocked. But I think it's a solid wave. I would definitely give it a 2 thumbs up. I don't think Sue is nearly as bad as some people are making a big deal out of. She's not the best out of the other 2 Sues, but I've seen much worse in my day. So there's that. Johnny's kind of, he's, I think, on par with the Walgreens exclusive. So if you have that version, you could probably pass on this one. You could probably pass on the Fantastic Four if you already have the other 2. But you're probably going to want to pick these 2 guys up if you want some more villains, want some more cosmic villains and such. And there's a whole bunch on High Evolutionary. He's actually a pretty intriguing character if you actually like read up on him. Um, so I'll just leave it at that. But I'll leave it up to you guys to do your own research and such. I'm not going to go on Wikipedia because now I'm going on about almost 100 minutes here. Holy Toledo. But that is my live review of the Retro Wave Fantastic Four. I wanted to do this wave. I told myself as soon as I got the wave, I was going to do the review. Don't worry, I already shot the Conan review. It's done. I just have to finish editing it. I'm going to try and get it up before I leave for out of town. Worst case scenario, I might try and upload it when I get back. So probably be around, I don't know, February 29th or something like that. But I'm going to try and get it up for you guys. So that's an important one for me to get up. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Do you guys have any questions as far as anybody in the live chat? I did see this. Low Monty says, for the face, he's referring to Sue. Can it be they missed painting the eyes correctly? I haven't gotten one in hand, but in other reviews, I noticed that the sculpting of the eyes and the paint don't match up. The eyes, I want to say, I don't know that. I mean, they're pretty solid. It's just, I don't think it's the sculpt. It's rarely ever the sculpt. I want to say it's probably the paint apps. It almost looks like her right eye, which would be this one, is a little bit upward. And I don't think that's this. It might be the sculpt. I don't know. It almost looks like she's squinting or squinching. Squinching is like that thing you do when you bring your lower eyelid up and you kind of, I don't know. A lot of models do that shit. It's called squinching. Anyway, that's what she looks like she's doing. She looks like she's squinching. And a lot of people are saying, oh, she looks Asian. And I'm like, nah, I think it looks like she's squinting or squinching or whatever the hell you want to call it. That's what it looks like to me. Definitely the proportions on her are a little bit off with the face, especially when you're comparing, like I said, to one of these Sues. So I think this is a much more proportionate head. But, like I said, everyone has different proportions. So if this is the only version that you have, there's nothing wrong with it. Some people have smaller heads. God, my girlfriend, I call her little peanut head because she's got a little peanut head, So I don't know. There's different strokes for different folks, But I do think that I like these heads better. This one and the Walgreens exclusive one. Like I said, but it's also, like I said, an evolutionary thing. You can go with that. This could be the youngest Sue Storm. Then you've got her in the middle, and then she's a little bit older here, maybe in her 40s here. So you got your 20s here, your 30s here, and your 40s here. Go with it. Like I said, people's facial structures and your bodies get wider as you get older, you get thicker, you get, your hands get fatter and wider, it just happens, it's what happens. You're not going to look 20 forever, it's not going to happen. Does not exist. So, but I don't know. I don't nearly think it's as bad as some people were making it out to be. Some people are calling her like awful and butter-faced and shit. And I'm like, I don't know if it's that bad. High Evolutionary's waist. I don't think it does twist because he's got this diaphragm joint, but other figures have had diaphragm joints that have a waist twist. He is not twisting. So, I have tried. I'm going to look here also. I'm going to try and shove this up, his skirt piece up, and see if there's a waist joint in there. There is, actually. Yes, there is. So I take that back. Thanks, A&D, for kind of asking that question. So if you try to twist him from if you try to twist him from up top, you won't be able to do it. You kind of have to lift this skirt piece up a little bit, grab him by the crotch right here, and give him a good twist. That sounded horrible, but you know what I mean. He does have a waist twist there, and he does have a diaphragm twist. So he does actually have both. So thank you, Andy, for asking that. I'm glad you actually did, because I would have sounded like a dipshit. Other than that. But yeah, that should be pretty much it. Do you guys have any other questions before I take off here? This is a very long video. But yeah, that should be about it. Get Ben over here more. I think it's like I said, I still like just looking at the figures. I think it's still a solid wave. And maybe she's getting a little bit more of the walrus or the mermaid effect on me. You know, the walrus effect. I don't know if anybody watched How I Met Your Mother. Explains like sailors were at sea and they would see these walruses hanging out on rocks in the middle of the ocean, and they would see them and they would draw closer to them, and the closer they would draw into them, the more they looked at them, the more beautiful they looked, and that's how mermaids kind of got invented. Was actually from an illusion, from wanting to see something beautiful, even though you're staring at something that's like, you know, not a friggin' mermaid, not a half beautiful woman, half fish, you know. That's what they would think they were looking at. So, and that's the whole, you know, mermaid effect is you stare at something, or the walrus effect. You stare at something ugly long enough, you start to like it. It just happens. It's human nature. If you see something that's mediocre, or, you know, you start to think that it's good. It happens. We see it with toy collectors all the time. They say something is great and great and great and great and great, and it's mediocre. It happens. I mean, these are, at the end of the day, Marvel Legends. We know what we're getting with our Marvel Legends. These aren't great figures. They're solid figures. And it's a solid wave. So that would be my recommendation there. This is the best I can explain it. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it, buddy. But I will end it here. I think I've droned on long enough. This is the 4th set for Fantastic Four Marvel Legends so far. Hasbro Marvel Legends, yes, technically it's the 4th. Actual Marvel Legends, it's like it might be like the 7th or 8th. Because there was the box set, there was the regular release carded, there was the movie figures, there's a whole bunch. But yeah, Hasbro ones, this is the 4th. Now, updated Hasbro, this is the 3rd. And by updated, I mean anything made from about 2013 on. We're not going to discuss the dark days of Marvel Legends. Those were the bad days, with really weird joints and awkward single jointed knees that swiveled and wide jointed hips. Remember those? Those were the worst, absolute worst. I hated wide jointed hips. Why did they make those? I don't know why they made it wide jointed hips. Anyway, I am gone on long enough. So I will leave you guys here. I still would recommend the set. If you don't have a Marvel Legends, you know, updated Fantastic Four, and you're looking for a decent set, it's right here. Other than that, that's pretty much it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.